When it comes to buying property, there's some famous reels that have popped up about how you can buy, a house in Italy for $1. Do you have any insight, or I can see you, I can see the body energy changing.
In principle, I wrote an article like on my website. Like I have an interesting article about €1 house, where I try to summarize some of the experience of this year. In principle, is not a scam. I cannot say that. It's possible that among these different kind of advertising, there is also someone who is taking advantage of it too for some scam. But in principle, it is true that at some point, some regions or some cities, some municipalities, especially in a more rural area, or very often are like either countryside or more mountains area, region or more isolated areas, villages that are getting completely abandoned by population to the point that there are properties that originally belong to someone are abandoned, and they are getting in a situation where they need massive renovation, and the municipality doesn't want to take care of it, and sometimes they don't have the budget to take care of it. So what they're saying is, come, we allow you to buy for a symbolic euro, €1, so that there is a consideration for the money for the property that you're buying, and by doing that, you potentially have a place to stay. What is less known and less understood, again, assuming that these are real uh, advertising or real tenders that some municipalities provide. So my recommendation is don't rely on what you find. If there is a municipality, I just say like one small comune in the south of Italy that is promoting, try to go on their website. So not on third parties' website. If it's something that belongs, if it's €1 house, it's not a private deal. It's something that is done with the help of a municipality. So on the website, official website of that municipality, you should find information about that. Number one. Number two, what is not understood, in my opinion, and underestimated at some point is the consequence and ramification of buying a house in an area that is very often, at least the cases that we happen to handle, and we're talking about probably 10, 15 cases that came to us not just for consideration, but very people are seriously interested in placing an offer with surveys and different kind of estimate of the cost. What is not really understood that is that if you are in an area that is not particularly open to work in, with people that don't speak Italian, you first find a language and a cultural barrier that is very important to handle. Most importantly, you face a property that needs to be sometime completely torn down and rebuilt from scratch. And rebuilding a property or making a property livable, very often, we're talking about 1,500 to 2,000 euro per square meter. If we're talking about 100 square meter, which is 1,000 square feet of a house, we're already talking about 150,000 euro. 150,000 euro for an apartment. If you come here in Tuscany, if you go in Gaiola in Chianti, in Radda in Chianti, in the Chianti area of our wine area. But if you want to go in the south of Italy, if you go up on the lake area near the Dolomites with 150,000 euro, maybe you don't find like your penthouse apartment, but you can definitely find an apartment where you can have a place to stay that very often is already in excellent shape. We help a lot of people to buy a property for 150,000 euro that are ready to move in. So I understand that the Under the Tuscan Sun dream of buying four walls with our roof and restoring it from scratch is incredibly romantic and beautiful. Is a challenge that more than one time, actually all the times that we handle this kind of situation, after the moment of romanticism and falling in love with the idea of doing that, a more pragmatic person understands that is it really worth it? Is it really possible? Without considering another aspect, and that's where the lawyer can comes in and say, in addition to that, most of these comuni say, come and you commit to establish your residency. So you need to become a permanent resident. But as for what I know, there is no agreement with immigration and consulate authorities that if you buy a property for €1, we don't have a €1 visa to stay here in Italy. So now you're buying a property You're committing to stay there, to renovate it, but you still have to pass through the process of getting a visa that allows you to stay here in Italy. So it is a beautiful opportunity, can be a dream. It depends on what you're looking for.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you liked it and you want to see the entire interview, you can find it just right there. So go ahead and click it.